Welcome back, everybody, to everyone's favorite podcast, the Based Lesbian Podcast. I am your host, Cara, and with me today is my lovely co-host and beautiful wifey, Lee. In today's episode, we are going to get into it. We are going to talk about Ulta Beauty's latest podcast episode titled The Beauty of Girlhood with Dylan Mulvaney.
With two men.
The Beauty of Girlhood by two men.
Featuring these two men.
It's so freaking absurd.
It's so
dude.
twisted.
And of course, on Twitter, they've limited the comments around that tweet, so nobody can comment on it. But you can quote tweet.
Oh, you sensitive little fairy twinkly snowflakes.
And then on fucking YouTube, they blocked the comments, so nobody can comment at all on the video, which is hilarious.
That really shows that you've won, doesn't it?
That really shows that people support your.
That really
what you're
shows
doing.
that you're taking it well. You're doing good.
And of course, they've faced obvious backlash to it, which is great. I'm all for it. I mean, people are obviously mad. Well, I decided today to make myself even more mad and watch this full fucking podcast episode.
So that you wouldn't have to.
It was garbage. And I'm not just saying that because I don't like Dylan Mulvaney. It was garbage.
Day 38 of being a girl.
It's actually day 167 now.
It's that motherfucker.
Yeah. This fucking guy. Girl, I mean.
This fucking guy. I'll say it. This fucking guy. I'll be like Joey Diaz. This cocksucker.
He literally is, though.
This motherfucker who's walking through the Bronx.
It's crazy how much you sound like him, dude.
You just have to sound like you're dying of a tumor in your throat.
Oh my god. That's so terrible. Oh my god.
Love him.
Anyway, these cocksuckers that are on this fucking
Cocksuckers and
podcast.
cock holders, by the way. They are owners of cock. They have cock. They have penises.
Women can have penises.
I just said they have it. They have it. I didn't
And
say
what are you
weren't.
implying?
I'm just saying that they are owners of the peni. That is what they purported. They haven't had surgery, so.
In my annoying philosophy sociology professor from university voice, I'm going to say, but what really is a penis? If we really dissect it, what does having a penis mean?
It means you have a dick that can fuck.
You have an appendage that produces semen. That's what it means.
That you put in a coochie. Or a booty.
Or whatever you want, I guess.
No one's judging.
Unless you're a pedo. And then you can...
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And then you can burn in hell.
Firing squad.
Literally, for real. But anyway, we're getting off topic.
That's not these guys. They're not pedos.
They're not, but they're really fucking annoying queer people that I can't stand listening to.
Queer.
I can't fucking stand it, but I watched it anyway. And so we're going to go through it, okay? Lee has not watched it because I know if she tried to watch the full thing, she would get fucking angry.
My cinnamon whiskey with me.
So that way you can...
And I am here having a good time.
That way you don't get too... You're going to get your good time ruined.
I'm here to expand my mind right now.
Yeah, we're here to open our minds and talk about gender ideology because we have to have the tough conversation so people accept gender ideology. Okay, well, this video starts off with the obligatory introduction of who Dylan Mulvaney is, as if nobody knows what he is or who he is at this point. I feel like everyone fucking knows on the internet.
So we'd be saying she?
She.
Or he?
She, they. Are they's pronouns.
Then it's going to be they. I don't...
Yeah, I'll probably fuck up and call him he. I don't really care at this fucking point. But
here's a disclaimer: anytime you hear us say he for these individuals, we actually mean she. So there you go.
Well, David Lopez goes by he they. So we have one that uses the right pronouns than the other.
Why is he even in this docu?
He's the host, I guess. He's the host for Ulta Beauty. Which I guess wouldn't really be a big fucking issue. It's the problem that they brought on a biological man to talk about girlhood. That's the fucking problem that we have here. But
it's because it's trendy.
So Dylan Mulvaney says that it's hers. I can't even fucking think. She's 167th day of girlhood at the time of filming this, and then they have this little like woo.
So like not even a year.
No, not even like barely half. Is that half? Wait, what's half of 365? I don't know. I don't fucking.
You're asking the wrong person.
I have no fucking idea, but it's not even a full year of girlhood, and so I don't know. My first observation of this is that Dylan's voice sounds higher, which is kind of weird. Like it just sounds higher pitched.
Well, he probably hikes it up there.
You think it's that, or are they editing the audio?
I think I went to high school with a first soprano who was a little itty bitty skinny boy, and he had a high pitched voice that he could hike up even higher. Yeah. I'm just saying right now, Dylan, he's a fad, so I think he's probably hiking up his voice, her voice.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I don't know. I was also thinking in my conspiracy brain, like, did they just edit the audio for this whole thing to make them look good as like a feminine voice? I don't know. But they are only on hormones right now. Like they haven't had the surgeries or anything like that. And as far as I know, HRT doesn't affect your voice if you're born biologically male, if you went through male puberty. I think it's just the other way around for women because obviously testosterone. But anyway, Dylan's voice sounded high-pitched and it sounded weird to me. And then Dylan says to David and says, I think we relate to each other on this idea of femininity when talking about something obscure like canopy beds. Because they started off the video dissing canopy beds for being tacky and ugly and not cute. And then they related having a canopy bed to being a girl. And then they said, oh, we relate to each other because you and I both wanted canopy beds as kids.
Dude, I bet like a butch lesbian just blows their gourds out. I feel like they can't even handle, like, does not compute. If a butch lesbian were to step in the room and be like, no, yeah, I'm a woman.
They would try to trans the butch lesbian out.
Well, they would try and be like, what makes you think that you're a woman?
Right. When you dress like this.
Is this the way that you do? When you dress like this, like you're so masculine, you're so forward.
Dude, and this is the fucking problem. It's like, I understand the validity of like getting rid of gender stereotypes and like getting rid of the idea that like, if you are a butch woman, you must be somehow trying to imitate like a man or you're acting like a man or whatever. I want to get rid of that stigma. Same thing for men if they want to be little twinks and walk around in their little high heels and shit and wear makeup. If
Gay
they want to be,
folk.
if you want to be a Jeffree Star motherfucker who doesn't give a shit and is very, very feminine, but also a dude, like we should be able to like accept that in society. But like you're sitting here being like, oh, well, we relate to this idea of femininity. So you're putting femininity on the idea of having a canopy bed. It sounds fucking retarded. It sounds ridiculous to me. So they make a lot of comments like that throughout this whole fucking video that just really piss me off. And I know it seems like such a small thing, but I'm like...
Well, because it's non sequitur things relating to femininity.
Right.
Which, like, any woman would be like, what? Why would you think that that's
Why would
feminine?
you think a canopy bed is feminine? Or like an inherently feminine thing? And why are you saying that as like, well, we related to each other on that? Like, no, you guys were just two gay boys that liked that kind of stuff.
You know about being gay?
It's about being gay. It's an internalized homophobia. I truly fucking believe that. But anyway, they go on and then starting to talk about femininity more in depth. And David Lopez says, I've always related with and understood femininity in a way that felt like something I could wear more comfortably than masculinity. I didn't know you could wear femininity.
That's very convenient. What? Like...
That's what he says.
And, like, that's how he feels. So, like, that was either a major slip-up or they're trying to normalize this idea that femininity is such an abstract thing that you can just
put on like a show. And they say a lot of those things. Like, they say those little offhand comments kind of out of the blue, and you're like, did
Wait,
you really
what?
just say that? Like,
did you equate femininity to owning a canopy bed? Heifer? I think it's a little bit more in depth than that.
Just a
if
little
I was
bit.
to stake a couple things.
Just a little bit. It's just so crazy. Like, because when you listen to this whole podcast, if you're someone who's easily manipulated, you would think maybe they have validity to what they're saying. But then when you really fucking listen to it and you force yourself
to critically think about it.
Yeah.
You easily and very quickly come up with the fact that a canopy pet has nothing to do with being female.
And that you can't wear femininity, just like you can't wear masculinity. And I'm sure if you confronted him on that, he would spin it into something of like, well, I didn't mean like physically wear, like present. I just meant like I put it on in my persona because that's what I adopt.
Because I have to feel like I'm female inside.
Right.
So I need to make sure that I put it on the outside.
Well, in his case, he's
what
gender
about Blair
fluid.
White? Blair White presents as female.
Internally screaming, I can't. And then David Lopez, after that, asks Dylan, what does femininity look like to you? And Dylan goes on about how he gets hate for calling himself a girl and says that hate is rooted in transphobia.
That sounds like a very basic, made-up view.
Yeah. Well, and he was talking...
sounds very Jussie Smollett. Juicy Smollett.
Fake hate crime alert.
Yeah.
He was literally like mentioning it in the context of like, well, like women get mad at me for saying I'm a girl versus woman. Like she, whatever, actively chooses to use the term girlhood, not womanhood. And I've watched some of their other videos, and it's because she believes that calling herself a girl at this moment is reflective of her transition and her journey with transitioning because she's not fully a woman yet.
No.
Because she's not fully transitioned
I
yet.
disagree. That is you taking your own version of puberty and girlhood and like, turning it into your own warped sense of self. It's very ill.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It's really strange.
That's really weird. That's really weird.
It's really strange. And it doesn't strike me as something that like a genuine trans person would feel.
Or would
express.
make the delineation of. Like, that's the really weird thing to me.
Right.
It just feels off that it's like there's a delineation between that. Because every other trans person I know, it's like, that's not even a question. Like, girl or woman or female, it's not even in their head. They're just in, I mean, I've never heard them describe it as like, I'm going through girlhood and then I'm going to be a woman.
Right. Nobody talks like that.
That's very strange.
But then she would be like, well, it's my journey. It's my identity. So like, why would you have to criticize it?
Your journey is very different from actual trans people's journeys.
And actual women's journeys.
So that's cool that it's your journey and you're on your path. But don't say it's part of being a woman.
Right. It's really gross.
Just say it's part of being Dylan
Mulvaney.
Mulvaney.
He does kind of look like related to him.
Malarkey.
Dylan Malarkey. That's a good one.
So he's going to be good now.
Oh, God. Well, and then he goes on and he says that the pandemic made her realize nothing matters.
Then he goes on the pandemic and her.
I'm trying not to get banned. Dylan mentions that the pandemic made her realize nothing matters. And she says, I'm going to be who I want to be. Like, so she transitioned during the pandemic.
So nothing matters in this world. I'm going to be a woman. Isn't it like the opposite of every trans person's story ever? Yeah. It's always been like, I feel so insignificant in this world. Being a woman is everything to me.
Right.
Being a man is everything to me. Therefore, I'm going to transition into doing that. Not, wow,
nothing matters.
Shit.
The world's going to end
Why
because
not
of this
just
global pandemic.
do this? Why not just be a woman?
Well, and it made me think of who else do I know that transitioned during that time? There were a lot of fucking people.
That's how you know it's a fad.
Yeah.
That's how you know they're the goths.
Yep.
Dude, that's a fad. It's a fad. It's a fad.
You guys were locked inside for too long. This was the globalists' plan.
It's like, oh my God. It's like when fucking people were bringing around like K-pop and fucking like hip hop stars and people around when they were getting really big in the early 2000s and 2010s. Now they're bringing around like the troons.
Oh yeah. Now they're transing out,
they're bringing
dude.
out all like the little climate change Greta Thunbergs. They're bringing them out and having them talk.
It's really fucking cringe.
I would rather have Eminem or Beyonce. Thank you.
Agreed. Well, it's like Alex Jones said. They're turning the freaking frogs gay. They are.
Trans.
Now they're turning him trans. So he wasn't right about that. Okay. So then Dylan goes on and he says, or she says... it's so bad. I wrote he, him pronouns for this whole thing because I was so fucking pissed. And now I'm trying to be like, okay, I gotta not be banned. But anyway, so Dylan says she didn't find she self beautiful and until
herself.
Gender transition. I know, I'm just being silly. If they want to use they, them, stupid fucking pronouns when it's not grammatically necessary, then I'm going to fuck up my grammar.
I'm going to say she self, motherfucker.
I'm going to say she self and I don't even know.
Pitter patter.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I got to calm down. So anyway, Dylan says she didn't find she self beautiful until her gender transition. Says she didn't think that boys could be beautiful. This is what I told you earlier where we were like, there's a lot of layers to that. Because...
Let's say that again. So she thinks that boys can't be beautiful.
Yeah. Because she had that preconceived notion. So she wanted to be beautiful.
So instead of dealing with that preconceived notion, you just thought, I'm going to be a girl.
That in order to feel beautiful, I have to be a girl. That's
What?
so fucking warped.
What?
That's so warped.
Jeffree Star exists.
Yeah. For real. James Charles even.
Yo. For real.
I mean, really. Like, I don't like him. But
but like twinky beautiful boys.
Yeah. And
for
he
real.
does great glam and everything. Like, come on.
It's not like we're in a world where that's shunned.
Right.
It's accepted. We
I
got a
don't
whole
get
month.
it.
Where we're capitalized off of.
Yeah, it really doesn't feel like a genuine transition for this person. And that's why I'm like, I wonder if you really are going to get the surgeries, because I feel like you're just doing this performance and you're not going to actually change anything physical about yourself because you don't actually have gender dysphoria. You just like looking like a woman.
Like looking femme.
Yeah.
That's it.
Newsflash, there's drag.
Like,
there's drag. Will and Belly.
Yo.
Will and Belly looks fucking hot as a woman in drag. I'm not even gonna lie.
I know.
I'm not even gonna lie. I know. I'm confused. He confuses me. But like, I'm just like, that's fine. That is fine. Anyway, this fucking stupid fucking video, dude. This is only like 8 minutes in, and I was like
frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, I was so fucking angry. But so then later on in the episode, Dylan Mulvaney said, when she began the whole like day whatever of being a girl, whenever that happened, she said that it started out as being a funny joke.
The ice bucket challenge.
Yeah.
Being a girl.
Yeah, literally. She said it started out as being a joke and being funny because she's a comedian and an actress or whatever, and then it went viral, so then she had to roll with it. She literally said that in this podcast episode.
Had to roll with it?
Yeah.
Being a woman?
Just doing the whole day whatever of girlhood. I'm like, you didn't have to continue doing it.
No, she wanted clout.
Oh, yeah, 100%. She's gotten so many things. She's gotten sponsorship. She's on this stupid fucking podcast with Ulta Beauty. You know she made money from it. Maybe, I don't know, because I feel like people are going to stop going to Ulta now because of this. I know a few people, even B, our friend B, at Zombie925. She straight up was like, fuck Ulta. I fucking hate them. She's like,
no, for real. Like, what a political cash cow.
Yeah.
So stupid. Like,
well, you're losing
obviously
money.
Virtue signaling.
Mm-hmm. Virtue
That's the
signaling
thing.
to who?
Like, who gives a fuck about Ulta? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everything's ordered on Amazon right now. JeffreyStar.com.
Bitch. I
You know what
mean,
I'm
for
saying?
real.
No one gives a shit.
Fuck Ulta. Go on a business for
Fuck
this.
Ulta. I haven't been to Ulta since 2005.
Me too.
Do people still go there?
I'm sure a lot of people do. But now less people are going to go because of this bullshit.
Good.
Yeah, for real. So just so you know, by the way, Dylan Mulvaney started out as non-binary and was already
We all know how I feel about those NBs.
Dude. So she says in this, she says, when she was started out as non-binary, she was already exploring femininity before coming out as trans. I thought the whole point of non-binary was not being one or the other. So what do you mean you were exploring femininity when you came out as non-binary?
Like people are using the LGBT label to just explore themselves.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, I'm figuring myself out. I'm taking some time to work on myself. And like, I'm just going to go through a few of these letters in the LGBTQIA2A. And you know where I'm going to end up on a few, but maybe in a couple of years, I'll end up on one. I mean,
yeah, I think
people
you're right about that.
People just recycle through the letters until they feel like they're oppressed enough or fucking unique enough to land on something.
Dude, and that's what's so weird to me because that's not what the gay experience is, like, actually.
No, the gay experience is shitty.
Yeah. And it's figuring out who the fuck you are while also dealing with, like, potentially family members who fucking hate you or, like,
School
insecurities.
members who blackmail you.
Right. Like, bullshit. You had that happen.
Yeah.
You had people blackmail you.
Yeah.
To come out, right?
Yeah. Like, I had moved to a new school and, like, I had just realized that I liked girls in a Catholic school. And I told, like, one girl, and I told her that I had a crush on someone, and she told me to tell her, or else she would tell the entire school that I was gay. Because, like, no one else was out at that school. No one else. And my mom wasn't happy, and we took her to the principal's office. And the Catholics were actually pretty pono about it. So that was dope. And even then, I can't even say that I've been really discriminated upon, because even then, we took it to the man, which was the Catholic principal, and they were fucking cool with it. So all this shit about you were going to say, like, no one ever accepted me liking glitter or me liking, like, this as a boy. No one ever liked me playing with girly things. Shut the fuck up. I literally went to a Catholic school principal and was like, I'm getting bullied for being gay. And they fucking brought her ass in and almost suspended her ass.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm calling Cat.
Yeah.
We're progressed enough.
Yeah, we are. Well, it's like fucking David Lopez was saying later on in the episode that, like, everyone knew he was gay from, like, a super young age. Like, since he was, like, 8. And it's like, well, yeah, no fucking shit.
Yeah, if you're actually gay, people tend to know.
Yeah. People, I mean, unless you're, like, completely in denial and, like, super religious or something and you don't want to admit that to yourself. But, like, the majority of the time, it's obvious. Like, with Dylan Mulvaney, I would have clocked him as a gay kid from the get-go. And a theater kid, too, because they both say that they were in theater. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a little bit, okay? I have clips to show you. But
I've got beef with theater kids.
Oh, we both do. But anyway, moving on, Dylan also says, I've learned so much from TikTok. It's like a 5th year of college. He says this in the middle of the pod.
That should tell you all you
need to know. We're done. We're done here because it's obvious you're getting all of your bullshit from TikTok. All of this gender fluid bullshit, this non-binary bullshit, polyamorous fucking DID fucking wannabe mentally ill people
Pity
are
culture.
all coming from TikTok.
Pity culture.
It's terrible.
Feel bad for me. Feel bad for me. Look at my struggle. Look at how much I have to deal with. Look at how much I'm going through right now.
Everyone suffers. You're not unique. Everyone suffers. And we don't need to have competitions over whose suffering is worse and for what reasons.
Like, no one gives a shit that much.
No. Because everyone's dealing with their own shit. Everyone's dealing with their own shit. Like,
well, and like, especially now we're anti about your shit.
Right.
Because like before, when this culture wasn't give a shit about my shit, maybe there was a chance that we would care if the occasional thing would come up. But now it's like anytime anyone tries to get involved with their shit now, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Move it along, Cowpoke. I'm not listening. Alrighty, Medighty. I'm not into it. Move it along.
Move it along.
Next ticketeer, I'm done.
I'm out of this. Well, and that's what we saw with COVID, because everyone just kind of turned on each other and turned on our neighbors, turned on our families and friends and everything for political beliefs. And then with the elections, we saw the same thing. So it's just getting worse. People are not having compassion for each other. And I tried watching this stupid fucking podcast video. I tried to have compassion for these two. I tried to just be like, okay, I'm going to listen to this with an open mind and see what they're saying and like just try to see if I can agree with it or nope. I tried and I can't. I tried and it's just so ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous because fucking Dylan also says there's still so much hate for trans people, and I'm like, yeah, because of people like you and because of David who wants to be gender fluid. That's why. There's obviously trans hate before that. I'm not invalidating that, but still, like...
There is as much trans hate as there is racism in the world. You're never going to get rid of it.
Right.
You're never going to get rid of it, except for now you've only fanned the fire, and you've made people more transphobic.
Right.
Just like how, like, all that shit with, like, the BLM riots and shit, you made actual racist people even more racist and even more loud.
Right.
Like, it's just not helping your cause.
Yep.
To advocate for all of this stupid fucking bullshit mutilation of kids, just like it's not in your favor to go about rioting in the streets and fucking burning down everybody's fucking places of business. It's not okay.
It's not cool.
I'm not going to want to listen to your point of view.
Right.
But I still am. Here I am, though. That's why I'm better. That's why I'm better.
That's why we're superior human beings.
That's why we've got a podcast and you guys are listening to us, motherfucker. It's because I'll listen to the fucking things that make you cringe at night, okay? I will fucking listen and I'll give you the report.
You sound like Hulk Hogan, dude, on fucking WWE. That's why, brother. That's why I have a podcast.
Brother. That's why I'm going to bring you the truth all the time, every day, 24/7, all the time.
It's the truth. We are superior human beings.
Believe us.
Well, with that, I have a clip to show you. I have a few of these clips. You're going to have to suffer through some of these.
Go off.
Okay?
Go off, babe.
Because my heart is palpating right now. I'm just freaking out because I'm so triggered. I'm so triggered. So this is what David Lopez says about queer people and expressing their gender identities, or their identities in general.
Especially if you're listening to this or watching this in your own journey of exploring your queerness, is that it doesn't necessarily always have to be loud. I think sometimes we feel as queer people that our experience, we have to share it because that's the world we live in. Like, okay, I'm going to come out. I have to share it with people. It's your own journey. It's your own private space.
Yeah.
We have chosen this journey, and it is a role that we willingly took on, and we continue to explore and continue to be teachers of students of life.
So I thought that was interesting because he straight up says, queer people, we don't have to be loud about our journey. So what the fuck is pride?
What are you doing right now?
I know. I'm like, what are you? You're making a video about girlhood when you don't have any idea about girlhood.
Sponsored by like the biggest,
like one of the biggest makeup companies in the world.
I'm confused. It doesn't add up.
You know, we're wrong because we're
TERFs.
students of life, and they are here
Teachers
to bring
of life. They said teachers of life.
Yeah, that was a Freudian slip, because later he says that they're students of life. I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. You want to come here and teach people.
I don't want to be in your classroom.
I reject this nonsense you're trying to teach me about what it means to be feminine.
I forsake you. Get back.
I just thought that fucking clip was just so ridiculous. Sorry. I just thought that clip was just so ridiculous to me. And then fucking,
like, well, it's like those, it's like those fucking two fucking bitches who went to that Van Gogh exhibit and put the tomato sauce all over the Van Gogh art when they're wearing shirts made from oil. They have phones made from oil. They used super glue made from oil. And then they used fucking a tin can holding the soup made from oil.
Right.
It's like, bitch, practice what you preach. Ooh, ooh.
Well, and they like littered from the cap of the glue that they used and everything.
Cute.
And like put it on the ground and something. I'm just like,
Super
you guys
cute.
are so fucking stupid.
Yeah, you're really convincing me. You're really convincing me, boy.
Somebody I follow had messaged me and said that those kinds of people are called aesthetic terrorists. Like, they're only terrorists for the aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was so good because it's so true.
That was everybody during Antifa.
Yeah. All the SJWs. Like, it's cool to be an activist, to be an intersectional activist.
To call out your friends and tell them it's concerning that they're watching Candace Owens.
Oh my God.
You know, you're really doing something good for the community if you call someone out for watching Charlie Kirk.
One of my friends in high school literally did that to me. I had shared a quote from Jordan Peterson, and I was just talking about how my perspectives have changed a lot because of the pandemic, and like things aren't as they seem, and we don't know everything, and nobody knows everything. And so I had shared that quote.
What a concept.
And my friend, who hadn't talked to me in like 2 years, reaches out to me out of the blue and says, you know, I'm really concerned by your recent post because Jordan Peterson is an alt-right Nazi sympathizer, and
I feel like you're being led astray.
Yeah, they're like, I feel like you're going down the wrong path of life, and like you shouldn't be diving into these topics because they will try to convince you they're right and they're wrong and blah blah blah.
How
blah,
about I feel like you sound culty?
Yeah. How about fuck you? How about fuck you, fuck off, don't tell me what to think? And that's essentially what I had said. And he called me the least empathetic person he had ever known, and I was a terrible, awful person. His girlfriend reached out to me. Lee messaged her on my behalf because I was getting too upset, and
because then it became who's more oppressed, the person who's half brown or the person who's fully gay.
Yeah.
Like, it's
well, no, she's a half Indian woman who's bisexual living in Seattle, so therefore she experiences more systemic oppression than me as a cis white lesbian.
It's the oppression Olympics.
That's all it is.
Everybody get your ticket.
And you will lose because the only people that will win are people that check
all the boxes. It's to lose by how much?
Right.
Because that's what the oppression Olympics is.
Lose
by,
the most.
Because the person who loses the most gets the most reparations.
Right. Right. Great point. God, I'm so sick of this shit. It just the more we talk about it, the more it sounds so really stupid, dude.
I'm sick of this shit. Get the shit out of my fucking shit. Get the shit out of my shit. Get it out of my shit, bitch.
I have another clip to show you with that. I can't remember what this clip was about, so let me just... Okay. I'll just let the clip speak for itself, okay?
I'm scared.
I feel like we are constantly, as trans people, checking in with ourselves all the time. And that's when I know, even if I've never met a trans person before, a non-binary person, I know that I'm getting someone who is self-evolved to an extent because we've had to ask ourselves the hard questions that other people sometimes haven't.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. Excuse me. So because I haven't questioned if I'm trans, I'm not self-evolved.
Yeah. We're not. We're all just fucking little
plebs.
plebs. And all the trans and non-binary people are so much more self-evolved than everyone
Man, guys,
else.
they're the main players, guys. We're all
They
just
are.
NPCs.
I guess.
Just shut the fuck up.
I
glitch
guess
the
we
fuck
were
out.
wrong the whole entire time. We don't know anything.
Do you know how we can level up? Oh, I guess we gotta ask ourselves those intrinsic questions. Am I really a girl? Oh my god, I asked myself that question. You know what that means? I'm more self-evolved.
You have just evolved.
I have advanced one enlightenment. And
You are now on their level. Well, not quite, because you haven't started the transition yet.
but wait, they haven't either, though. So, like, are we on the
What?
same level?
No, what? Is hormone replacement therapy not enough for you? You're a fucking bigot.
Oh.
Don't you know you can be trans without having to do anything?
That's right.
They actually say that in this video at the end. I will show you that clip. They literally said that. They're like, I want to get to a point where trans people don't have to do anything at all to be trans. And she literally says, so you can identify as a woman and that we just believe you and that's valid and we don't question it. Same thing if you want to identify as a man, like you are a man. Like I want a world that's like that.
But that doesn't exist.
No.
That doesn't exist, though.
Because that gets rid of reality, like fundamental reality as we know it, of the reason why there's two sexes.
But then, also, life can never be that easy. Because
Right.
you've already got the loopholes coming in for the prison systems.
Right.
Like, just already, no.
Right.
Already, it's a no to your argument. Because you have shown, the community, your community that you love so much, has shown me that these people will just identify as a woman, and then they can go and rape women in prison, in
Yeah.
female-only prisons.
Right.
With their dicks still attached to their bodies that they feel.
Yep.
So, no.
Mm-hmm.
Disagree. Hard pass. I'm good.
Or they can fucking pass bills like they just did in California with Senate Bill 145, where basically just legalizes sex with minors if it's a consensual relationship. And if the relationship doesn't have more than a 10-year age gap, then it's okay. And they've
You see, they're
disguised
distracting us with the Dylan moves. They're distracting
Yeah.
us with the Dylan malarkeys of the world. And on the underside, we still don't have the Epstein list. And now they're passing fucking pedophilic shit.
Right. Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced for 20 years
Where her list?
for sex trafficking to nobody.
Where her list? Anonymous, where you at?
Please, come on, TikTok.
Remember,
what are we doing?
Remember the 4th of November.
The 5th of November?
5th of November.
Too good.
You got another clip?
I do have another
Are you going to
clip.
play another clip now?
I am.
I'm ready for another clip.
Are you ready to get triggered?
I am.
Okay. So here's this next one.
I had a following from this bison video that went viral that had nothing to do. That was before I, was trans or non-binary, and I lost a bunch of followers because I started posting these videos, and then it brought us, brought us together. And I just felt a little bit alone in that experience of being non-binary, and I wanted to help. I think that's always, like, we're here for a reason. And so it was just, it kind of became a little, because I couldn't do theater anymore as the pandemic, like it became like a little show, like a little, a play in a way.
Yeah. There's something to be said about the expression of learning through empathy and compassion.
Yeah.
There sometimes seems to be a very rightful anger as queer people about, we are not here to be your teachers. But I also think that there's something to be said about having compassion and empathy for people who just don't know what they don't know. That is my role. That is how I perceive the world. And that is my decision alone. I have rarely ever been activated angry, saddened by comments and questions that I get, especially when they're respectful. I'm like, this person doesn't know what they don't know. And I think something like they question the day is very helpful for people where we don't feel like we're screaming in a cup. We're like talking to people outside of our community.
Correct.
So let me just recap that. So he was talking in regards to something that Dylan Mulvaney did on TikTok, which was called They Question of the Day, when they was non-binary.
When they was non-binary.
When they was non-binary. And it was like mainly a thing where I guess cis people were asking them questions about what it meant to be non-binary and blah, blah, blah. And did you catch what I caught in that video, which is that Dylan Mulvaney says that this is like a performance?
A play?
A play. Like, did you mean to say that? He said they say it a lot in this video. A lot.
I think these guys need to do a little bit more introspection than they're thinking.
A little bit of a soul searching.
Yeah. It seems to me like you really just want to be femboys.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Too, by the way.
Yep. I don't understand why that's a problem. But that gets to the whole, they're theater kids, right? So both of them talk about being in theater. And Dylan goes on this one tangent.
I have got personal beef with
Oh,
anyone
my
who
God.
used to be a theater kid.
Literally, Dylan goes on a tangent about how I feel like theater kids get a bad rap, but
You
honey, we're the best of the best.
You're not. Everyone hates you. Literally everyone. The jocks, the geeks, the choir kids, the band kids, orchestra, teachers' pets. Literally everyone hates you. You
Literally.
are hated.
And
Live
this
with
is
it.
coming from, I'm a band kid of
And
12 years, and you're a choir kid.
I'm a choir kid of just as much. And
Yeah.
Everyone hated you guys.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You guys were the worst.
You were the meanest people. You were judgy. I'm
Yep.
sorry, but like, if you were in theater...
Normally you took AP classes and you were just fucking snarky.
Yeah.
Fucking,
I'm gonna be the next Leo DiCaprio.
shut the fuck up!
And I'm talking about like the people, like the theater kids that took it seriously. I'm not talking about like kids who just
no.
took theater because they had to or
They
whatever.
needed an elective.
Or because
No.
maybe they enjoyed it in middle school or high school,
hey.
and then that's it.
You don't need to explain. We
I'm
know.
just saying.
We know the theater kid. You know what
You know
we
what we're
mean.
talking about.
You know.
If you've ever seen a fucking theater kid,
They're
you know.
insufferable.
They're the worst.
They're awful.
I'm sorry. And they're all fucking wannabe queer kids, or they're just really queer. Like, they're really fucking gay.
Or hella metro.
Yeah.
The metrosexual.
Oh, I knew some of those I knew some of the straight
Duh.
guys that were in theater that would be like constantly trying to justify their straightness because they were in theater. And they were like so popular for some reason because they wore fucking, what are those called? The paper bag?
Did you know that I did Les Miserables
Oh my
in
God.
high school, and I was the lead fucking person in that?
Oh my God.
Bitch, I don't care.
No one cares at
Get
all.
Thwacked. No one goes to your plays.
No. And you know,
Dylan Malarkey.
I'm like, when he said that, when they both said that they were theater kids, I was like,
Oh, it
Makes
sense. We're
sense.
putting it together.
I get it now. I
It's all
understand.
falling into picture.
Because this whole fucking podcast felt super rehearsed. It felt really scripted. It felt really disingenuous. And the entire time, they're just talking about themselves. Like, they're not actually, like, having a cool conversation between two friends or anything like that. Like, they literally are just going on and on and on about how special they are. And how their journey, my journey.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one cares. We're if anyone's a fan of Ulta, they're just tuning in to see what new fucking brands they got. They weren't asking for Dylan Malarkey.
No, to talk about what it
No one
means to be a
cares.
woman. Oh my God, I just can't. I can't. And Dylan also says that he grew up super conservative, I guess, and super religious. So, like, he had preconceived notions and internalized
So you grew up
transphobia.
well?
Yeah. So you grew up with morals. So, not to say that, like, religious people are not infallible. Like, religious people can be terrible, obviously, but
So you started off better than most.
you did, yeah.
Like,
You had a foundation.
Admit it. You probably were fine. You were good financially. Probably like middle class home. I'm probably gonna guess. You know, you weren't struggling.
No.
You found your struggle.
You got bored. Being gay wasn't cool enough, I guess.
No, you needed more struggle in your life.
Because I'm pretty sure. So Dylan Mulvaney is only 25, by the way. He's younger than us. He's only 25. And has been out as trans for like 2 years.
Oh, it's that 25-year-old ego.
Yeah.
Gotta get that shit. Get it. It's trying to get loose. Pay attention to me.
Please.
You gotta get that. You gotta ring that shit in.
You gotta ring in that
no one
ego
wants
dog.
to listen to that.
No.
No one gives a shit. You're just making people angry.
You're just making people hate you.
Yep.
And it's like, that was what I was thinking of this whole thing. I'm like, he probably wouldn't be as bad if he wasn't doing all this influencer shit. And like,
yeah, but that's
wearing
what
the
makes
makeup.
him even worse.
Yeah.
That's what makes him even worse. Is
Yeah.
that it's coming out during all of this social media shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, now it's ramping up because you're getting traction, because you're getting views, because you're getting sponsors, because you're getting contracts with Ulta or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what it's supposed to amp up.
No. And I like how David Lopez had said in one of those clips, I can't remember which one because I don't care, where he was like, I can handle the questions and the comments if they're respectful. But I'm like, but you guys turned off the comments from this fucking podcast.
Well, but most of them weren't respectful. Okay, then what's your definition of respect? Because
agreeing with you.
Right. Either agreeing with you or politely being like, I'm not sure I buy into this.
Right.
Which most people are not going to come off being like, you're a fucking piece of shit, fucking faggot, twin,
Right.
bitch. Bah!
Yeah.
That's not how the majority of people are. The majority of YouTube comments would come off and be like, I'm not sure I've been buying this. I've been seeing a lot of this recently, and I think more people need to be talking about this.
Well, and especially with the way that they are presenting this video, because they're presenting it in a way that would come off like they're open to criticism. They're open to discussion.
You're not.
They're open to changing people's minds and teaching the world, even though they say they're not teachers. They're students of life.
Not. You know who was, once upon a time? Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah.
The guy who was gay, but he's now allegedly straight. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Listen, I don't know what's going on with him recently, but I'm saying that dude at least fucking came up to bat. Like,
he was like one of the first people that was like talking crap about the gay community and the way that we needed to.
Oh, yeah.
And
the
like,
way that we need to shape up and be like, this is fucking bullshit and decrepit and lustful and disgusting.
In
and
a
awful.
very conservative space.
Yes.
Like, where people were not accepting him.
Yeah.
Because he was a conservative, but he's like, no, I'm a fucking gay conservative.
I'm taking
and, like,
black
we exist.
dick.
Right.
And I'm telling y'all that you need to stop being hoes.
Right. Right.
That you need to stop expecting good treatment for being hoes.
And you need to stop with the BLM bullshit, like the Antifa crap. Like, he was talking about that, and now he's trying to convert himself back to being straight. I think it's because of his religion. I think he had made a statement or something that was like, you know, due to my religious beliefs and my conflict, like, and the lustrous lifestyle I live, like, I want to... and I'm like, that's sad.
We feel like you probably got a beard. Whoever you're going to marry next, if it's a girl, you got a beard.
Like you're not going to fucking, like...
We know.
Yeah, you're not going to fool us. Like,
you were talking about big black schlongs.
Well, yeah. And, like, you can't... As we've seen, you can't change your sexuality. Like, your sexuality is innate. Like, you're born with it. That's why gay people exist.
It.
Yeah, but it's... You're not going to get rid of it. So...
That's why we call it coming out. Because it's always going to come out.
Right.
Wow.
But these kids just come out for, like, just a party. Like,
these kids come out, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like their new Sweet 16.
It really is.
It's
like
throw them a huge quinceañera for coming out.
It's so fucking cringe. I'm like, this is not what it's like.
Okay, what color cake would you like at your coming out party?
Or I'm gonna film it on TikTok, and that's gonna be my vulnerable moment. That's so 100% genuine.
Hopefully, my parents have a terrible reaction, so I get more views on TikTok.
Exactly. You know whose parents did have a terrible reaction to them coming out? Mine. Mine told me I was faking it and told me that, like, I was lying to them for pretending to be straight. I was 15, and that I didn't know I was truly gay if I hadn't been with a woman yet. And so for like 2 years, they didn't believe me until they finally realized it wasn't just a fucking phase. But it took them time. Do I resent them for it? No, because we have a decent relationship now.
Well, and everyone's dumb sometimes.
Yeah. So like we
Can't
all
hold
make
that against
mistakes. But if your parents change or whatever, it's fine. But I don't know where I was even going with that. But like these kids are literally just doing it to be fun.
They're
and it's
doing
like
it for the clout.
yeah, there
And
are
it
people
is
who
a
actually
fad.
struggle. Yeah. It's just trendy. It's just fucking trendy.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but like I feel like if it really came down to it, like if they were lining us up, some of these people would just not be willing to give up their lives for who they are.
No.
I really feel like that.
Oh, no. And that's, God, you can just prove that in like the stats that have come out recently with how many trans people or trans identifying people there are now.
Right.
And it's like 3 times what it used to be or 5 times what it used to be.
Right.
It's like, I don't believe you. This isn't real for you.
Yeah, we have a privilege in today's society now that where like violence is lessened. I mean, I'm not saying it's non-existent because now it's ramping up because of all of these fucking radical ideologues. It's ramping up for sure. But like we had a brief moment where like society wasn't that bad. Like gay marriage got legalized. There wasn't so much pushback.
Androgyny
it was better.
was the thing.
Yeah, androgyny was cool and it was trendy and like people were expressing themselves and it was cool. And now we're at this moment where it's like injected into everything. People are fucking sick of it. Any movie that puts this stuff in there, it automatically gets like 20% on Rotten Tomatoes audience score, but like 90% critic score because they're all just fucking paid from
Bots.
all of this.
Bots.
We're Russian bots.
We're Sneeko. Bots!
It's just so absurd to me. I think I have a couple other clips we could go over, but I guess we'll go over this one. I don't know what this one's about, but...
And I have to really struggle every time, like I'm going to a trans surgeon for the first time next week for a consult. And I've had to, every day I've been asking myself, I'm like, okay, who are you doing? Are you doing this for yourself or are you doing this for other people? And it's been for myself, but I have to even make sure that I'm not getting anything done that is because it is the standard of like what a woman is. And I even like, I hope that we can get to a place, my hope for the future is that we can get to a place where trans people don't feel like they have to change a thing about them to be trans, or they don't have to take the hormones if they don't want. They are a woman if they say they're a woman. They're a man if they say they're a man. Non-binary if they say they're non-binary. We believe people. We trust them. We lift them up. And yet I hope for that future, but we're not there yet. And so I have to make sure that I'm not just conforming to this binary.
Same.
And I even am scared. I'm like, oh, what if we do get to that place one day? And I'm scared about, or, you know, I do all these things now and then one day I might regret it. I don't want to live in that place because I want them now.
I don't want to live in the place that I might regret them in the future. So I'm just going to do it because I want it now. 877 cash now. I want it now.
Your frontal lobe just got done developing.
Like barely. You are barely developed, like fully developed.
Can we just pump the brakes? Yo, the fact that that's even a question, am I doing it for other people?
I know. I'm like, I'm sure genuine trans
normally-
people feel that or like might question themselves maybe.
No.
You don't think so?
Not in that term. No, because
Yeah,
it's
maybe, yeah.
context differently. Because you think of it, am I doing it for myself or am I doing it like to spite other people?
Right.
Like, am I okay going against other people? Am I
Right.
okay stepping away from what I've known? It's not, am I doing what other people want me to do?
Right. Like, am I prepared to lose everybody for who I am versus am I doing it because it's a trend? Like, literally, that's what he asked himself. But of course, I'm doing it for myself. But also,
And you know, every day I wake up, and of course I answer, of course I'm doing it for myself. But, homie, even the question, though, the question, it means maybe this isn't genuine.
Well, and then he says, I envision a world where trans people don't have to do anything to be trans. I'm like, oh, okay. So you don't want to do anything.
We're just going to come up with a new medical term for what actual trans people are.
Right.
Because they're just hijacking this word, trans.
Yeah.
Because trans can apparently just mean anything. It can just mean you look as hot as Johnny Depp or Brad Pitt and you're a woman.
Right.
You got your schlong. You hiking it around everywhere. Woman.
Right.
I don't want to no one's going to live in that world. No one's going to live in that world.
No. No one's going to live in the world of like make believe.
You know why? Because it already has real consequences in the prisons. Seriously, I keep going back to that because it actually has real life consequences already.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
we've seen.
Yep. And women's sports getting fucking demolished by these fucking men that take hormone therapy for a few weeks and then transition and fucking beat out the women or fucking crack their skulls. Fallon Fox. MMA. Yeah. Like, we see the repercussions of this, already. Of this idea of just ignoring reality.
Like, you need to come down, even if they are genuine. This is too altruistic.
Yeah.
This is too much of the ideal. You're not taking into account what human nature is.
Right.
Even if you are this perfect representation of really nice, incredible, lovely trans people who don't want to hurt anyone, who will completely respect people in the bathrooms, that's fine. I've seen it before. That's fine. Right. Even if you're one of those people, we've already been shown that there is no trust.
Right.
You can't trust because she even said, you know, I just was trust trans people. Sounds a lot like trust all women.
Right.
No,
Amber Heard.
No, I refuse.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
And you don't deserve that trust.
Mm-mm. No.
You don't. You don't even deserve my respect until you earn it.
Yeah.
So why when it's been the norm of the past few millennia to be weirded out by a man in women's spaces, now you're asking women to be cool with it?
Right. When historically,
that's
men
been
have
bad
been really
juju.
violent.
Why are they going into the females' restroom? There's
right.
probably no one else in there, and they're gonna fucking arm me.
Right?
Do you know what I mean? They're gonna grape me.
And it's just like with they're gonna grape you. Yeah, it's just like with the children shit, like putting drag queen story hour in schools. Like, what is that for?
Who's
if
paying
it's
for
not
that?
for it's
like,
for fucking it's for predators to have an in with children to start grooming them. Like, I don't give a shit what you think. I think it's harmful to put that shit into young kids' schools, even high school. I don't think it should be in any public school.
Nope.
College is one thing. This shit is fucking harmful, and we shouldn't be just loudly touting it around like it's fucking harmless. It's ridiculous.
Agree.
But I don't know. I think these kids are just fucking like totally lost. Like, there was one section, I wrote it down, I didn't record it because I was just like, this is so ridiculous. But they were talking about, like, what does it mean to be feminine? And Dylan Mulvaney said, what's your authentic self look like? Or, like, what's the best you? And David Lopez says he has 3 main characters that he plays.
That's such a theater kid response.
It really fucking is. So the first one is his cis male presenting. But it means that he loves to have a full beat, his hair out, heels on, muscles and chest hair showing, blah, blah, blah. Like his cis male. Like, okay. And then number 2 is my full poppy moment is what he says, which is like his fuckboy status where he's wearing a baseball cap and a t-shirt and he's super chill. And then his 3rd is his my glam / she version.
This literally just sounds like different drag costumes.
For real,
Can you stop saying that this is femininity or that this is gender related? Like,
or this is the trans experience.
Obsessed with different looks on yourself.
Playing dress up.
I don't care. No one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit at all. And he said he's like, oh, I love being the equivalent of a toy that's like got a bunch of different parts put to it, like the Mr. Potato Head of the genders or whatever, where like I have big lips but long hair and like what, and I'm just like, you are so ridiculous. You are so narcissistic. And I don't care what you have to say about anything.
So self-obsessed.
And
How
then
can I think about myself more? Maybe I should think about myself looking like this.
Right.
Maybe I should think about myself looking at like this and see how I feel when I think about myself like that.
Right.
Do I feel more feminine? Do I feel like sucking dick like that? Or do I feel like taking it up the ass? I guess if I feel like taking it up the ass, I'm more feminine.
Oh my God. And this begs the question, like, we all have our own masculine side and feminine side. Like, everyone has those qualities. So you're not special just because you're like, so today I feel 60% more feminine than I did yesterday.
That's me every day.
I know.
Like, I'm 90% feminine one day and 5% feminine the next.
Right, exactly. You're gender fluid.
I was actually in high school.
You know. Well,
I was a dum-dum in high school.
I'm here to tell you that you're actually under the trans umbrella and you are actually gender fluid.
Which would make you...
What?
Pansexual.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're not dating just a woman.
Wow, score on the Oppression
You're
Olympics.
dating every gender in the book. You got them all, man. I'm here to fulfill every fantasy.
Well, back in the day, I used to identify as demisexual, so I think that's a little bit more oppressive than pansexual
I
is.
fall in love with my friends.
That's so oppressed.
That's literally what demisexual is. It's like you don't experience sexual orientation unless you have a romantic connection with someone.
Wow. Oh, courting.
Yeah. You get horny from being in love. Wow. Congrats.
Anyway, Dylan Malarkey and David Vivian. I don't know what your name is. You guys, stop caring about yourselves so much.
Oh my God. Stop making everyone else care about yourselves.
Stop it.
I don't care
Stop
about
it.
you.
Get some help. We don't want to hear about this. We don't
No.
care. And also, guys, maybe take a look in the mirror and notice that this is a little bit performative, especially if you're
High-key.
bringing up being theater kids and performing and putting on femininity like a costume and like it's a play and a performance. I'm just saying,
Like you're
back.
using these terms.
look
These
back
are,
on your decisions in life.
yeah.
You know,
Just look at that. Look back at how you sound.
25's a good time to do it. You know,
Well, I
before
guess,
a midlife crisis, so you're working yourself up there.
yeah, I guess fucking David Lopez is like 35 or something like that. So, but he's been gender fluid for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Ever since he got bullied.
Probably. I'm like, whatever. He also says that straightening his hair is a sign of whiteness, of him conforming to whiteness, while he's also straightened his hair for this episode. I'm like,
Shut
how is
the
that
fuck
white?
up. Shut up.
And he's like, it's also
You're
in how I
appropriating my womanhood.
talk. Word.
Shut the fuck up.
Word. Yep. Seriously. You don't deserve to talk, my boy, about femininity. But I don't know. This whole fucking thing pissed me off to the fucking max. I was over it. It took me like 3 hours to watch this 50-minute long video because
You're
I
worked
kept
up.
pausing. You saw me. I had to take breaks because it was just so stupid. So stupid. All this gender shit is stupid. It's coming from two lesbians who deal with their own bullshit
All the time.
all the time. And you know what? We're fine.
I'm peachy.
We've struggled with our gender and stuff, and look at we've just accepted the fact that we're women who like women.
Wow.
Done deal.
That was easy.
That's what these boys need to realize. They need to realize they're just gay.
Accept who you are in this mortal vessel in this timeline
Yep.
on this rock.
You don't have to invent new things to feel special.
No one
you're
cares.
you're special yourself.
The supermassive black hole in the middle of the universe, in the middle of this galaxy, doesn't give a shit.
An impending nuclear war in Ukraine and Russia doesn't give a shit. No one cares. The end. The moral of today's
the more
episode.
you know.
No one fucking cares.
No one fucking cares. Ah.
Cha-cha-cha.
And with that concludes today's episode about these two fucking twinkle-dinkalinkies. And they're ridiculous. Be sure that you're following us on Instagram at based_lesbian and Twitter at based_lesbian_. We're getting up there in the followers on Twitter, y'all. Keep following us. Lee runs that one, so you better follow, okay? And next week, we'll see you at the same time on Friday. Whatever. Okay. Let's give it a do.